Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Resident Evil 8. We're in the basement of the castle again, but a different basement. So, we're going into one of the more memorable sections of Lady D's castle, but it's also one of the rare instances of the game changing things up if you're playing on Village of Shadows difficulty.
Why?
Because, okay, so we're going to get to a part where she cuts off your hand and you have to basically avoid her for a bit while a door opens.
Yes, I remember that bit fondly.
Okay, so on Village of Shadows difficulty, they drop zombies in here with her. So
No
it's
way.
much harder.
But you can't do anything about that, right? So you just have to kind of avoid more shit.
Yes. But it's one of the rare instances where it's actually different. It's not just, oh, everything hits harder.
I understand why, because the way Lady D moves in this, once you know the direction to go and when to turn around and run back the other way. Yeah,
it's 100% consistent.
It's easy once you know where to go. So throwing the zombies in, yeah. One thing I do like is that
a clean cut.
One thing I do like is that the seam in the jacket sleeve stays there for the rest of the game. But Ethan never actually gets rid of the part of his sleeve that got cut off, so he just keeps it on his wrist.
Yeah, he it's like when burn victims have like parts of their clothes like scorched onto their bodies. It's the same thing. He heals the jacket alongside. It's part of his body now. He is one with his clothes at this point.
Man, never being buried with a members only jacket. That sucks.
Okay, so you have to wait for the gate to open. So you kind of have to dodge around Lady D a few times here.
I love how you're looking at it.
Oh, she's like, don't stare at the camera, please.
I mean, you really gotta hand it to them.
In the censored Japanese version, Ethan has his hand still, so...
Well, how does that work?
You're going that way? Okay, interesting.
Wait, how does it work when the hand is supposed to be like a key item?
If you lure Lady D away from the lever before going through, she'll cut through the iron bars and just head you off after you've walked through the gate.
So then you turn around and then you turn her and then you just go through where she cut the hole through and then it's very easy.
Yeah. I mean, I like that she cuts through the iron bars.
Ted, I think in the Japanese version, you just don't collect the severed hand.
Yeah.
But don't you need to use the severed hand for stuff?
No.
You're about to sew it back on.
The only
right
thing
now. Sew it back
maybe
on.
there's a you know we were talking about like hints and like winks and nods towards Ethan's true self. Maybe if you were looking at the hand, maybe if you looked at like the inside of his flesh and the bone and everything, maybe there's something in there that gives a clue as to what he's actually made of.
Well, Ryan got a good look at the cavity earlier, and it looked pretty standard.
I hate that it like fits like perfectly. Like you sewed the hand like the jacket back on perfectly. Like it should be.
Like,
no, because Lady D's she does a clean cut. She does a nice clean cut.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have sewn it back on perfectly. Like I can't imagine him.
It
in
wouldn't
this.
be. It would be like it would fit together, but it would also like be flopping apart as it moved. So there'd be no reason to keep that part of
it's permanently displaced.
It also like
around,
wouldn't
you get
meet
your
at the
foot cut
top
off.
perfectly. Like it would be slightly off, I would imagine.
There would be
Unless if he spent a long ass time fixing it, making sure it was just right.
Wouldn't you just fuck around and like cut your own foot off and stick it where your hand used to be?
There would be no reason to keep that part of the sleeve
They will not fuck me
around.
now.
There would be no reason to keep that part of the sleeve around. He'd actually probably just pull it off of his arm before trying
It isn't
to
my
reattach
old nemesis, Ethan Winters, with a hand for with a leg for an arm and an arm for a leg.
I've always wanted to smell my own feet.
Now, I have recently played this game up to the end of Lady D's castle on hardcore mode from a fresh new game. That was my stream.
You were going to say Castlevania, weren't you?
Yeah, it was.
It's kind of the same thing. If you think about it.
Well, the ghouls, you might be tempted to think they're the easy enemies, but on hardcore mode with all your weapons at starter level, they take a lot of damage.
Oh yeah, no,
So-
they're pretty spongy. They can be pretty spongy sometimes.
Yeah, so
But then they were like that. They were like that in RE2 and 3 remake as well.
they don't like in Resident Evil 2 remake, the zombies don't necessarily take that much damage, not as much as this. And the only difference between normal mode and hardcore mode is that on hardcore mode, the dynamic difficulty is scaled to its maximum at all times. But like in this one, the damage, the amount of damage you do is handled differently. For example, in Resident Evil 2 Remake, headshots didn't actually do much more damage, or any more damage, really. They did have a stun chance that was worth going for if you wanted to run past an enemy.
And a
But-
headshot chance as well, but a very small one.
Yeah, a critical hit chance as well, but the actual damage they did to the health value was the same as if you hit them anywhere else on the body, which was weird, but it also meant, like, you didn't have to worry about where you were shooting an enemy if you wanted to take them down by pure health damage. Not so
Which
in this game.
It's fine. Yeah, I was gonna say that's fine, but then like you've given somebody the opportunity to have a third-person camera and aim freely and stuff. So it seems a little bit weird to do it that way.
Right. Well, there were reasons to shoot for the head, but the upshot was the smart tactic in Resident Evil 2 Remake was not to shoot the zombies in the head like you would think to do.
Yeah,
It was
shoot
to
them in the leg. Yeah.
Shoot them in the leg to take them down so that they're vulnerable and can't hurt you as easily. In this game, you actually do want to go headshots. You want to go headshots whenever possible because you will be doing more damage. And as a result, the actual total health that the enemies have is quite high, relatively speaking. If you're not hitting enemies with headshots, you'll run through too much ammo. And on the upper difficulties, that makes combat a bit expensive. There's a reason that I had to knife only that one daughter.
Oh, hello.
Oh, geez, you nearly ran right into that cake.
I'm halfway tempted to think that was scripted because I always run into Lady D up here.
No, I can confirm on my New Game Plus that happened to me as well. I think that is scripted.
Like,
Can you fight and beat her before?
No.
No.
No, you can't take her down. She can't even be
I can
stunned
tell
the
you,
way.
yeah, you can actually stun her, believe it or not, but she
Really?
doesn't do any. What I did with because I was just testing out the grenade launcher, so I shot her, and it took maybe 2 goes, and she just kind of she gets knocked back, and then says something like, "Haha, you think that can hurt me?" But she just kind of stands there for like 5 seconds, and then starts chasing you again. So it's not technically a stun, but it kind of is. You stop her for a
She
second.
pauses to talk. It might as well
Yeah,
be a
it
stun.
is a stun more or less, and
Okay.
then you have to like fire another like couple of grenade shots at her before she does it again.
Right.
Wait, so she saw you came in here, and she's just gonna stop?
Yep.
Yeah,
She doesn't want to
save
kill
her.
the Duke. She doesn't want to kill the Duke.
It's the safe room. Safe room is always safe. Nemesis disagrees sometimes, but
Mr. X definitely disagrees as well.
yeah, but only for the main lobby, and the only reason that had a save point and an item box in it was because it did in the original game. So,
Oh, hello. Whoop.
Finally, Neat, you saw me 30
Ow.
seconds ago.
Oh, come on, dude. You're safe.
I'm in the safe room. You can't come in here.
Oh,
Time to
bye,
tap
Ethan.
that, tap that
Bye,
ass.
Ethan.
Tap that ass. Tap that ass.
Well, I guess I showed him.
Maybe on Village. Maybe on
He'll never
Vi-
bother me or my daughters ever
Wait, so
again.
this is
know-
Village of Shadows difficulty, right?
This is normal difficulty.
Oh, weird. Because like I said, I definitely was able to stun her. So that's weird that Magnum shots constantly aren't doing anything. That's weird.
Well, I was going for the ass more so than the head, so maybe.
Maybe that's got something to do with it.
that reminds me of this really clickbaity video that was popping up in my recommendations. It popped up like 3 times before I rolled my eyes and was like, all right, let's see it. It was a video that was labeled, "What happens if you shoot Lady Dimitrescu in the butt?" The answer was nothing.
Oh,
I
yeah,
I
of
proved
course
that.
it is.
I proved that right there. So
Yeah, so it's like, okay, you're
I
pretty
mean,
much...
credit to them, though. That is good. That's good clickbait. They know their audience.
Was there
Well,
a
I
circle
mean-
around her butt in red with
No,
arrows?
I don't remember what the thumbnail was.
Oh, then it's terrible clickbait then. You don't even remember
But
the thumbnail.
the existence of the video, the existence. Well, I don't remember any specific piece of clickbait. It's all pretty samey, but like, the existence of the video implied that there was like some sort of Easter egg, and I would believe it because Capcom has done that sort of thing before, like with the
Well, that comes out of her butt.
No, like with the DS version of Resident Evil 1, like if you tapped Jill Valentine in certain places, she would react all cute and funny to
Oh,
it.
I see. Right.
I
I would, if I was developing this, I would totally have it so that, like, to be as literal as possible, you shoot her in the butt and she lays an Easter egg.
Okay.
Just to be as literal as possible. Like, hey guys, did you see the Easter egg? There it is.
But no, the developers didn't do anything with it. They just the guy was just trolling for ad revenue.
Yeah. All you got to do is put Lady D or Lady Dimitrescu and butt in YouTube, and everyone's searching that, and then that's where his video comes up.
Yeah,
Very
but
clever.
You could do something.
Oh, so Ryan, you know what to do.
Now, one of the most interesting environmental details in this game to me is like one room to the direct left of where Ryan is standing. The place you find the ball for the first Labyrinth puzzle, which has this whole elaborate history and a file next to it. The place you find the ball for the Labyrinth puzzle is next to a like smashed up replica of the same Labyrinth.
Oh, that's yeah. I did notice that. Yeah, I think that's quite cute.
So it's like my headcanon for this is that one of the sisters couldn't solve the extremely easy Labyrinth puzzle and got pissed off and smashed it.
Couldn't they just pick up the ball and put it in the hole?
That's what I don't get either. It's like, just put the ball in the hole from the
Yeah,
start.
they just
Nothing's
pick it up
stopping
and
you.
just feed your hand through and put it in the fucking. Why do you have to put it through an obstacle course?
The first Labyrinth only has one way you can technically fail it, and that's a few holes at the very end that are very easily avoided by just making sure to tilt the Labyrinth away
Wow,
from
they
them.
are dumb. Yeah, you're right.
So, like, if someone failed that Labyrinth, they were never going to get the other ones.
Or maybe that was just a spare key from the prototype one, and they just forgot to take it out, and they didn't realize it fit into the real one.
Well, you don't necessarily need the authentic key to the Labyrinth puzzle. In fact, in the factory, you flash forge replica and use that, which is the first time they've done something that funny since Code Veronica.
I am disappointed that you cannot play the sharps and flats in this piano because you can only do C major because it's only the white keys.
And I'm also disappointed that the notation's wrong as well.
What gets me is that, like, this sort of presents itself as a puzzle, but it's not really a puzzle so much as you trial and error each note one at a time. And then once you've trial and errored each one at a time, Ethan just automatically plays it.
I will say one of the
for a man with
coolest
8
puzzles.
fingers.
Yeah, one of the coolest survival horror puzzles like that I think is in the original Silent Hill with the piano in the school. I think that's a fucking ace puzzle. That's great. Because it literally doesn't hold your hand. It gives you the riddle and it's like, here's the keys, fucking figure it out, and I really love that.
Oh yeah, it was good shit. But, like, wait, are you going to...
Yes, he's going to a room that was shut before.
Lady D's bathroom has the hugest fucking bathtub in it. It also has the lipstick, which you can find a file about.
Was William Howard Taft in here too? Heyo.
What does the lipstick do? Anything?
It's a treasure to sell. It's just it's notable because there's
Why is he buying that?
I don't know.
Why do you think?
But it's notable because in the opera house area, there's a file on a dresser that is basically a note from one of the housemaids, telling everyone that the lipstick has gone missing. Please return it to Lady D's bathroom when you can. Well,
I'm gonna say maybe Duke buys it off you so that he can sell it back to her at a really ridiculous price. I reckon.
That sounds like a very Duke thing to do. Mm-hmm. It would also be...
His dialogue kind of implied that he knew what was going on and was just kind of dicking.
Okay.
He knows exactly what's going on here.
This is the boss I essentially had a knife only on hardcore mode. It's extremely easy to just attrition this boss battle because you can just camp out next to the lever and keep opening up the thing, and she'll keep back, and that gives you opportunities to shoot her, and also to run up really fast and swipe her with the knife. I wouldn't recommend going for more than one swipe at a time, though. So go up, swipe, camp out by the lever until you need to hit it again, and repeat. It takes a really long time, but it's perfectly doable. Of course, if you're at this point and you're that low on ammo, you're going to have trouble fighting Lady D in the boss fight. So, kiss your ass goodbye, I guess. Also, that window that Ryan just shot, it exists in a little alcove by the side of the room that looks like it should have more than just a window to break in it, but the window to break is all it has. I just found that like a really weird quirk of level design there.
I really liked this bit.
shooting the.
Well, I read the note and I must have misread it because it said in this chamber. So I initially thought, oh no, this is going to be the wing of the house and we're going to have to search all over. It's like, no, it's just in this room.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Is that supposed to be a self-portrait of her there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look like her.
Yeah, a selfie that she got
a
printed at a photo spot. Yeah,
No,
it's not actually a painting. It's something you got
using the
printed out
using
at
the
FedEx.
using the Renaissance filter.
Hello, greetings, daughters. I have enjoyed myself in this new fad called a selfie, as the hip young ones like to say. And the daughters just applaud.
Cassandra, take a picture of me right now. No, not yet. Back up. Let me pose. All right.
Cassandra,
Three.
you will help me by taking my selfie for you.
Lewis, you mean back up. Back up.
Back up.
Back up.
Back up.
Back up.
And then she takes the picture.
Jesus Christ, I don't have all day.
She takes the picture, runs it through a paint filter, and then hangs it up
Prints
in
it
her
out.
hangs it up in her actual art room to sort of give visitors the impression that she painted it.
And she took the image and she printed it out on her comically massive printer.
Now,
In her comically massive office.
Now I'm just imagining a sitcom where Lady D's just the out of touch parent and the daughters are like the goth girlfriends.
Oh
from,
my
like, high
god,
school
could you
and stuff.
imagine like Lady D like complaining to a teacher? It'd be so fucking good.
now, in new game, this is where you get the sniper rifle. And it's implied that you're supposed to use that sniper rifle to shoot down the enemies
That's what I
from
did.
a safe distance. It's a very safe tactic, but you probably don't want to do that because when you actually succeed in sniping the enemies down from a distance, quite a lot of the time they fall into like bottomless pits, like that one just
Like
did.
there.
And
You lose your money.
yeah, you lose out on the item drops doing that. So the riskier, more profitable route is to use your handgun and shotgun and take them down at close range when they come after you.
Wait, is that a freaking gargoyle dragon?
Yes. Gargoyle.
It's actually a ghoul that has sprouted wings.
Yeah, and it's got a long tongue. Got a nice long tongue.
What?
It's like a flying licker in a weird way.
Yeah.
As Resident Evil 1... Okay, you know what? I shouldn't say this because there were actual Cthulhu monsters in Resident Evil Revelations. It's just... For some reason, I always had this impression that Resident Evil at least tries to be serious/scary, and the answer is no.
No,
not really,
never.
No, not
It's
since
it's
ever.
just weird seeing all this gothic stuff.
I would say the
in
most serious it's ever really gotten, I would argue, is Resi 1 remake and Resi 2 remake. I think after like as far as like taking it as straight as you possibly can do. I think.
Well, I mean,
I would say so, yeah.
Cthulhu monsters was the entire point of the Las Plagas parasites. They just didn't do the Cthulhu part of Cthulhu very well. But like, okay. The Gothic Castle, though, was something that they were flirting with around that same time. Because you guys remember the various cut builds of Resident Evil 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, there was a version that was supposed to be on some sort of Zeppelin. And there was a version that was just in a Gothic castle with ghosts.
Yeah.
It's a miracle that RE4 turned out as masterfully well done as it is,
Yeah.
really. Like it could have been. It's not even like, oh, it's amazing that it turned out good when there were so many. It could have been 4 other games. Like they had to pick one type to go with, and they just went with the right one.
Also, one of the most annoying parts of the game, this and the area we're going to count as the same room, even though they're not technically supposed
Oh, Ryan knows about that with my fucking stream, don't you?
Why
Ryan?
is he
No,
holding
I
on
did-
with the hand with no fingers?
That's a good question. Slightly understated detail here. This is where Ethan gets the zipline hook that he uses for all the other ziplines in the game. He just keeps it on him because he realizes it might be useful. The game doesn't hit you
very
with like
Bioshock.
the game doesn't hit you with like an item acquired notice. He just sort of slips it under the camera and instead of leaving it on the line. So that's interesting.
Going down in the next part.
Oh, yeah, finally.